Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got the latest wedges from Ping. It's the forged, but this time in the Pro model.
Attractive, certainly. You know, it's got some really nice shelf appeal as a wedge.
It looks great.
Yeah, I think the most popular one being the cavity back kind of probably told them they needed something to change in order to get into a market where really most wedges are not cavity back. You know, Vokeys and Clevelands and Callaways and things like that are kind of dominating that wedge space.
Definitely.
And I think this is a nice looking wedge. It's a good little addition. Very, very kind of small in shape, and you know, profile wise, looking at the kind of vertical CG and things like that, ticking all the boxes of the modern design characteristics of the wedges that we're seeing in the market, Matty.
And it sounds like that's what they went for, sort of the tour inspired look that people will associate with a Vokey.
Yeah.
Definitely more compact than the glides. The glides were a bigger footprint, no doubt about it.
It's a functional feature to have a rounded leading edge, you know, to be able to aim that face as you open the face, and that's the nature of the 60. You're going to play it from, you know, multiple different kind of orientations, lies, things like that. So, you know, it's for a reason. That's the one thing you'll always say with Ping. If it does something, you know, it's for a reason. It's functional.
So I'm holding the T version of the 60. You've got the S. What would be the purpose of that particular one?
I think people who play on, you know, very firm conditions and tight lies will love the look of that.
Right.
You know, a little bit less sole mass to navigate. You know, getting those kind of clumsy, bouncy contacts through the turf, Matty.
Right.
So, you know, someone with a little bit of a shallower delivery will really enjoy that. You know, Ping do things their own way. Obviously, they've got the Hydro Pearl finish.
Right, which
that
is
new version of the Hydro Pearl finish.
2.0?
2.0, yeah. So, something, again, that's unique to their wedge design. So, again, I'd love to kind of know how effective that is.
And we saw in the past that it kind of set them apart. Slightly wet conditions or out of the rough, it was retaining spin way better off this face.
Massively.
So I think people may have gone, oh, I like that feature. I don't like the look of a Glide 3.0. It's not for me. They might look at this instead and go, okay, I like that face, but now I can kind of digest the shape a bit better. It's a bit more traditional.
Yeah.
And they kind of got the best of both worlds with that.
Because I think a lot of this will be driven from the top players. You know, I saw certainly Victor Hovland had these in the bag, and a few other guys. I'm sure Finau by now has got them in the bag, and Louis and those guys. So yeah, I'm sure they try different materials. Durability is a big thing for Ping.
Good point.
So obviously their forging process, they were able to get the feel and the durability that they were looking for out of the current setup.
Okay, well then why don't we give them a hit? We've got 3 different lofts. We're going to put you at 3 different distances.
Okay.
Start with a gap wedge. So 120 yards, dead center of the fairway. It's slightly downhill, so it should just be like a very nice, smooth, comfortable yardage for that one. It's good. Lots of spin on that. Good launch under 30. Really nice. Very similar. How are those first 2 feel coming off the face?
Yeah, quite nice.
Soft?
I think the shaft plays quite a bit of a role in that, to be honest, Matty. I'm thinking of my own Vokeys, and you know, they feel really nice. But this Nippon shaft that's in here, it's a little bit lighter, feels very soft, 115 grams.
Gotcha.
Called the Z115. I think what I'm probably feeling in the softness is actually a lot of the shaft.
Okay, because it's a bit of a softer, lighter profile than you normally play.
Yeah.
Probably good for most players' swing speeds though, like that could be quite a nice little fit.
I think so, yeah. If you're playing, you know, anything around the 100 to 110 gram iron range, this would be a really, really nice fit. And actually, I've quite a smart move. I don't think as many people fit into a 130 gram wedge shaft as would fit into a 115. And I'm sure, you know, Ping and probably their Arcos data would show that.
Yeah, true enough.
115 probably is the sweet spot for most club golfers.
Makes sense.
That was probably the best one.
It's right on line. Yeah, good shot there. Drop and stop, 10,000 spin. Launch angle under 30, 100 feet peak height. So it's a really good flighted wedge. I think, like you said, that CG location, there's more mass up here, I guess, in this part in the toe.
Yep.
That's keeping that that ball from, you don't want a 32-degree launch and you don't want 120 foot high ball flight. That's more of the tour flight that you're hitting there, which is just easier to control, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. No, nice, good shaping. Sole is good. You know, not overly wide. You know, a little bit more toe mass and really narrows into the heel. You can see kind of the shaping really narrow down as it gets into the heel. Good, very nice. Very nice.
Now let's move you in. So 54 next.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Very nice. Should be tight too.
Yeah, that little 54 is very nice.
These are great numbers. So again, still getting 10,000 spin, even though you're swinging obviously less clubhead speed, around the same launch angle we saw before. So you're getting what looks like a little bit lower flight, obviously, because there's less speed in it, but it's kind of similar launch and spin. Yeah, beauty. It's all over it. Oh yes. Yeah, I love that. Slightly less spin, but not enough to really affect a whole lot. Almost the same launch angle.
Yep.
Basically the same peak height. So when you look at those compared to the 50, you're looking at a pretty similar ball flight. Obviously the 50 ends up going higher because it's got more ball speed. It's flying 20 or 11 yards further.
Yep.
But they basically take off and spin it almost the exact same way. Really cool.
Really good. Yeah, they feel nice. I like those two a lot. I like that gap in Sandwedge a lot. And as I say, for me, the only question marks I had about the range was just more looking at the 60s.
Yes.
It just did look a little bit less of, you know, my style and kind of what I like to look at, and how I've got mine kind of hand ground is very, very kind of straight on those leading edges. But I'm definitely open-minded enough to see what the shots look like once they come out.
Because you've had good results so far.
Yeah.
Anything they remind you of in terms of the feel or how you're playing with them? Any other competitors that you could kind of point to and say it's a little bit like that?
I think when I saw the 60, it kind of reminded me of that Bettinardi wedge.
Oh, okay.
You remember the little kind of very small head but very rounded?
Yep.
That was kind of the first thought that came to mind.
That's a good call. Yeah, it does look a lot like that one. Okay, so let's tuck you in here for a little partial shot.
Okay.
50 yards, 51 yards. I'm going to tag, so we'll try both. So you've got the 10-degree S grind.
Yeah.
You've also got a 6T grind that we mentioned earlier. So we'll try both of them and just see how the launch and spin changes with those two different soles. It's nicely hit. Tons of spin. Still keeps the launch under 30, which it starts to get harder to do that with a 50-yard shot. So that's good to see. Yeah, nice.
Should be the one.
It's nice. Perfect. Interesting. Good.
Maybe contact actually feels a little bit more consistent with this one.
Interesting. Did you feel like you were thinning the 10 a
I
bit
just
more?
felt like I couldn't quite get my consistency down with it. I kind of feel like I know where my distances are with this one a little bit more.
Interesting. Yeah, this suits you really nicely, doesn't it? The size of your dispersion with the S, the 10S is there. If you look at the 6T, quite a bit smaller. So you're right. You had a better, you got it to the distance you wanted more often. You had a smaller deviation of yardages and your ball speed. So really the input and the finished distance were a lot more consistent for you. Slightly higher on the face, maybe a groove, a little bit more launch.
Which kind of, you know, I think most people, again, we've done enough videos on this now, we've talked about strike location, but strike location can generally get a little bit higher on a lower bounce wedge.
Yes.
Change the impact location, launch and spin obviously react accordingly. More bounce generally will hit it a little lower in the head and launch lower, spin more.
But in terms of the way a fit might go, this is what you might see as you try a few different bounces and grinds, and you might just see a dispersion circle be that much better with that particular bounce and grind.
this one looks like it's very, very easy just to kind of open it and kind of, if you like to play that little, you know, maybe if you're down in some kind of, you know, Bermuda or something, you've got that little ball, it just sits up a little bit. You can just open it and hit that little spinny one in there with this. Looks like you could do that really easily with this 60T.
Well, guys, let us know. These are fairly new, and I know they're a little bit higher in the retail price, so maybe not as popular, but people that like forged wedges, I think, will go out and try these. If you're a Mizuno wedge guy, if you were a Ping Glide guy, but you're looking for a more compact shape, I think these are worth a look. If you're trying to get away from the game improvement look of a wedge, I think these are plenty forgiving, plenty easy to hit. Maybe not as much as the Glides, but a much more traditional shape that I think most people will like the look of. And
I think probably for a long time, people have been moaning at Ping to get out of the comfort zone with the cast clubs and you know, make something that's forged and something that offers the consumer, the Ping devotee, something a little bit different. So
definitely,
you know, hopefully people kind of get out and support them for doing that, because it's exactly what this is. This is a really premium, you know, well-engineered golf club that's going to appeal to any level. Yeah.
I think if it didn't say Ping on it, people would be picking up off the rack and going, I really want to try that wedge no matter what it says on it. Okay. Well, obviously, we're pretty impressed with these guys. Make sure if you're going for a wedge fit, ask to try those. We definitely think they're worth looking at. Leave your comments below, and we'll talk to you again soon.